Okay, so here's OpenSatKit, and this is just a Cosmos version of it running on the desktop, unlike the PyStat that I showed you. So here, this is a terminal window, so this is like that UART terminal connected to the embedded processor, and in the Linux world here, this is running the CFS. So we're actually going to hide this. So right now you can see a lot of event messages there, and that's kind of like cheating because now we want to get the operational sense. So I'm just going to keep one screen open, which is the one I showed in class. I'm going to start scenario 1, and then I'll step through some of the things, and you can see, originally, like I said, this was going to be interactive, but it'll just be me here. So we're going to start the scenario, and you can see there's an event message there. And what's happening is the actual real time, as I mentioned, starts at 10,000. So before 10,000, it was doing some accelerated non-real time simulation. So that information is captured with the event messages. So we have 17 seconds until the contact. The length of the contact is 4 minutes, and this will be a up counter and a down counter, basically, time remaining in the contact. We have the couple commands here. We're going to be able to play back events, stop the event playback, and then also play back the file recorders. So now the contact just started. We see we're in inertial mode. Eclipse is false. Here's our battery state of charge. You might want to note that. Accelerate current, it's not really being modeled. It's just when you're not in eclipse, so you got sun, it's saying 10 amps. Here's our TDRS and the data rate. Flight software, playback is not enabled, and we now have 128 files. No resets, hardware command count, power's on, and science on for the instrument, so there will be files being generated. I have that set up at every 30 seconds, and right now our heaters are off because we're in the sun. And again, these are all just simple models for illustrative. So we just saw the file count go up. I'm going to go ahead and start the playback recorder, just so we can see that start. Even though in this class I mentioned, you assess the health, and you might transfer files and then upload. And we're not going to do any uploading of the next contact. So if I play back recorder, the playback enable goes to true, and I just had this go at 1 file per second. So it's just downloaded. Again, this is just a simulated environment. It was a little too hard. I was trying to get it to use actual flight software, and I got a little wrapped around the axle there. It's pretty hard to control the whole environment. So we're going to let that go, and now we're going to wait for an eclipse event, because during this contact, it's actually going to transition from false to true. And then I'm going to do the playback events, so that way we can capture them. So the eclipse just happened. We see when it happened, and I'm going to go ahead and play back events. And as I mentioned, this loops through. So what I'm going to do, mainly the first 4 events are important, although we got enough time here. So I guess what I'll let it do is loop through once, and then I'm going to freeze this. So it's going through first. So that's the first one that happened during that, the accelerated simulated time. And actually this event message is the one that said write the event log to actually do the log. So that's really not that important. And now you see the rest of the log. What happened in the sim was that I had it clear the event log when the simulation started. So we didn't get a lot of the startup messages, and it gets a little confusing to read the log. So the next time it loops around to the beginning, I'll go ahead and stop the event playback. So you'll have it frozen with the most important events, the first 4 on your screen. So now we can just stop it. And so now these are the first 4 event messages that were in the event log since it was cleared, and you can see the timestamps of when things happened. So the eclipse started the contact, the recorder playback started, and we also have another eclipse event. And that's really it. So for the rest of this scenario, we can just kind of wait it out, and then we'll start up scenario 2. So we got 60 seconds left. Maybe I should have made it a little shorter, but you can always fast forward the video just to get to your battery state of charge at the end of the contact. One other thing that just happened was you saw the playback enabled went to false. I just had that. If it reached file count of 0, it would go to false. But science is still on, so there's still going to be files generated. So we'll actually see this count probably go up before the contact's over. Well, so now the contact is over, and I'm going to go ahead and stop it now, even though there's sim time remaining, but there's really nothing else that's going to go on. And then we'll go to the next sim. Okay, we're set up just like last time. So I've got the CFS running, and I'm not showing that terminal window. And now we're set to scenario 2. The scenarios, I'm going to start it, and we'll be in the same situation. Here's the sim. There's some accelerated time happening with some events happening, and we're going to start the contact in 30 seconds. So this is the same setup, except that I've thrown an error before the contact that's happened. And basically the assignment is to figure out what happened. And again, it's not a trick question, just kind of walking through the data. And one thing I want to point out, if you notice the app column, all these say spacecraft sim. And in real life, that would be the individual app. So what I've done is prefix each of the event messages from a subsystem so we can see things. So we started the contact, so we could see, I'm sorry, didn't finish that thought, before you could see what subsystem would have issued the event message. So obviously we had some issues here, so there's one of the things you can notice is what mode we're currently in. And since last time, I'm definitely going to start to playback events now. And since we're not having a healthy status, is what I was about to say. And so I'm going to play back the events. And like last time, I'm going to let them loop through, but I will freeze them back to the first 4 events. But here you can see that we did have an error. And I'm going to let it cycle through, and then I'll freeze those first 4. And because really these next 2 are the start of the contact, and this is the actual command to write the event log. And there's just a bunch of undefined. Just like the last scenario, I cleared the event log before this sim started. Basically, I'm going to not talk as much in this one, so you guys can go through each line and see what's happened and the state of the system and assess the health. I guess I'll note one thing. We do have a lot less files to downlink. Here we're on the first floor, so I'm going to pause. So I've stopped the event playback, and it'll freeze there. And then, so here's the, you'll note that that's less than it was last time because of the error event, and I'm still going to just play back the recorder. So that'll give it something to do. And as far as the homework assignment goes, you really have all the information you need, and the screen frozen now. I'm just going to let this simulation play out just so the video is complete, and I'll stop talking now. And other than that, hope you enjoyed the class. And like I said, it's not trick questions, just kind of giving you the sense of the operational environment.